welcome back. If you're on YouTube, or one of my students, if you're watching this now. What we're going to do this morning is we're going to look at some more website stuff. We're going to look a bit more at CSS, cascading style sheets. I'm going to make sure that we understand how they're laid out. What we'll probably do is we're going to look at a kind of dummy website another teacher, Mr. Kovacevic, has put together. And what we're going to do is we're probably going to create a couple of new pages and just make sure really that we understand the CSS. Okay, so to start with, what I've got here is I have 2 HTML files and 4 images of dogs. Okay, and all I'm going to do first of all is I've opened up the main HTML page, which I've got in front of me here, and it's been commented very well, so we can see what each bit is doing. Just to remember, we start off with our HTML tag up here, and if we go right the way down to the bottom of the document, we'll see another closing HTML tag here. Going back to the first part of the video, we talked about different sections of the page, and we talked about underneath the HTML tag, often we have this head tag, and this head tag should have a closing tag, which it does just down here. Okay, that is where we put the information that isn't going to appear in the main part of the page. Okay, so that's not in our body. Our body is under here, like it says there, main site. The content actually begins here. Okay, and that's all our content, and we'll talk through that in a minute. What we're going to focus on first of all, let's just have a look at what we've got. If I was to open up this page, this HTML page in my browser, currently I've got Google Chrome set up. This is what I would see. Okay, so I've got a structure of a page where I've got a navigation bar down this side. I've got my header. I've got my bit of content in the middle, and I can see I've got links. Okay, and we'll have a look at the links in a minute. Okay, links that haven't been clicked are in blue. If they have already been clicked, like this one has been clicked, if we go through, if they haven't been clicked, they'll stay blue. If I click onto this one, it's another little page that's been set up. Get a little picture of the dog, the miniature schnauzer that Mr. Kovacevic has just got, and we can click and go back to the home page. Okay, right, let's look back at the HTML page. So we said that the head, anything in the head is not going to appear on the page. Okay, so we've got, let's have a quick look what we've got through here. We've got our title, which is the bit that appeared at the top of the browser window, and then more importantly we've got this style tag. So the style tag starts there, okay, and it ends here. Everything that's between that is style that's going to apply the whole style to the website. What we've done here is we've actually embedded it in the page. We could make the CSS a separate CSS file, and then we could reference it between all the other pages. But what we've done is we've just embedded it for ease really into the page. So if we look at the top, okay, let's have a look through what we've got. So we've, on the top of our style, actually hashtagged them so we know the parts, which is really handy. We've got the container, we've got the header at the top, okay, and we've got a banner, and we've got our navigation bar. And then what we've got here, content, is the style that's applied to the main content area. Okay, and each one is set aside with these curly brackets. Okay, so all within the curly brackets is what is going to be applied to that. Let's have a look to see what we've got then. We talked in a previous lesson, talked about selectors and containers, but what we've got here is the width. This is really good practice to set it to 100% rather than to kind of have pixel size, because then it's going to automatically apply it to whatever device it's on. We often talk about kind of good design, and it's much better to set it to a percentage. We've got the margin here, so it automatically centers the main container again, which is which is good practice. What we can do is we can make some changes, and we've also got these things with the background color. If you're not sure about these are the hexadecimal codes that are using the color. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy that one. Okay, and what we can do is we can go to a color picker site. This is a good one, the w3schools.com website, and we can actually paste in that what we've got, and it will give us the color. Okay, and what we can do is we can go back and we can look at the website and we can see that the color is in there. Okay, but yeah, again, it's a really good tool. The other thing is you can actually click on a tool. So if for example wanted to change one, you click. Okay, we've selected, let's just select that color again. Okay, there is our code for that color. Let's just copy that, go back to our PyScripter, paste it in there. It's going to save it. Look at our website, refresh it. Oh, it's a pretty bright color, and takes that back to what we were. Okay, I'm just going to take that back, save it again, go back to the browser, refresh it again, and go back. We did talk about previously about color wheel. I've talked about color wheel previously, and one of the things we look at is we do look at kind of opposites and complementary colors, which go well together. So we've got to be a little bit careful. Also mentioning it's a good practice really not to use more than 3 colors, and also more than 3 different fonts. Okay, let's just have a look back at our, what else have we got here? Well, we've got on our header bit, well, we've got some padding. Again, if we're not sure what these colors are, we can take these colors and we can put them into the color picker. And what I'll do is I'll put on the YouTube video, I'll put links to these websites as well, so you can test it out. And we've also got font size. Okay, so on the header here, this is the font that we're using, or the family of fonts, sorry. And we've got pixels. If I was to change that, let's just change that to 26. Okay, we're in the header bit, so it's going to appear at the top. Okay, we'll just look at that page again, and if I was to refresh that again, you can see it's got much bigger. Okay, good way really to understand it is to play around with bits within the CSS sheet and see what actually changes. The margins and the padding is how much kind of area you want to put around the outside. And again, all these are the same structure. Okay, we've got how many pixels from the left you're going to go in, how much padding you're going to go. If you see PX, it's pixels. This is fine. I said previously about this auto. The auto width is good because it'll actually put the whole width of whatever the device is we're looking at. The padding bit and these bits are fine because what it does is the navigation bar. We're going to set the navigation bar. You could set that as a percentage, okay, if you wanted to, which again it's quite good practice. But on a website like this, it works fine to set it for the number of pixels. But if we were to change that, and I would change that to 260, okay, and I went back to the website again, and if I was to hit refresh, oh, what did I change it? Let me have a quick look. Sorry, go back. What did I change? Nav bar floating, width, padding, moves the container to the left. It's not actually going to notice much on that. Let's just go 360 pixels. Save that. No, you're not actually going to notice it on there. No, it's not going to actually make any difference. Let's go back to what it was, 160. We've set any of these as percentages. Oh, he's also set, these are quite handy. So we've set these styles for the links, if it's been visited, if it's active. Again, it's good practice. The A just stands for anchor. We're going to anchor these if it's going to look at it. So if we looked at these, if you hover over a link, okay, but the link is actually take that one out. What we can do is we can go back to the color picker again, and we can look at the ones that he's picked. So what we do is we put it back in the color picker. Yeah, okay, and we'll see what the colours are that has been picked. Okay, we could do on these accessible ones, so we can hover over it. Just put them in. Okay. Again, we can go through and we can play around with those. Okay, right, let's just have a quick look at what's in the body then. Okay, what he's done here is he's used the div tag. So he's put divisions within the page. Again, it's nicely commented, so we know what it is. This is the main content. This is the page container. There's a header. Okay, and here what he's done is he's put, this text here in the H1 tag is the banner, and the ID is gonna look for the banner. Okay, up here there's no kind of there's nothing set on paddings or margins on here. But if we went back to the page, you can play around with that. Okay, that's the about dogs bit up here. Okay, and you could change that, or you could go back to the banner ID and change any of the bits within there. Put some more background colours or other bits in if you wanted to change the page. You can have a play around. We'll make these files available and you can have a play around with them. We've got here the navigation bar. So that navigation bar that is here on the side of the page. And within that navigation bar, what we've done is we've got the actual HTML links. What you'll notice here, if we went back to our original page, okay, I only had the home page underscore, okay, which is this one, and the miniature schnauzer HTML page. I haven't got the other two. I've got the images for them though, because you can see that there's a Labrador one and there's a husky one. And the little exercise, what we're going to do in a minute is we can make those new pages up. Okay, and you can make as many pages as you like. Okay, and all you're going to do is you're going to add them here to the nav bar using exactly the same structure as we've got here. The link to the particular page and then the text that you want to anchor it to. Okay, so that link will be anchored to that text. Okay, but obviously at the moment we haven't got that page. Right, then what have we got? We've just got here the rest of the division is what is going to be in the main content of the page. Let's put a little bit. This is about his favourite dogs. Okay, and again you can put any text you want in. And here are the titles. Okay, we look back at that page. You can see we've got the titles. Okay, to the images of those dogs. Okay, and we've also got the image source JPEGs. Good practice to do alternate text. Set the width to 30%. So the style has been set to 30% here, so it's not going to be too far across the page. But again, we could play around with that. So if we change that to 50, okay, and we went back to the page. I refreshed it, you can see he's bigger. Okay, but obviously we want to keep them all the same. Let's change it to 30 again. Hit save. Again, it doesn't matter whether you're doing this in Notepad or using PyScripter. Okay, they're all do the same thing. Okay, well that's the first bit that's taken it through, and we've looked through that. What we're going to do on the next bit, probably now would be a good time to pause the video. Put the files, download the files, put the files, make sure the files are all in one folder. If you don't put them in the same folder, when you come to click on them, the image on the page, you might find that you get broken links for your images. Okay, so what we're going to do first of all is go away, download the files, put them into a new folder, open up the pages, open them up either in Notepad or PyScripter like I've got. I only like PyScripter because I do like the colours and the way it lays it out, but you can use it in Notepad, it will look the same. I mean, if I go back and I opened up any of these pages, I could open that with Notepad. So if I opened that with Notepad, okay, it's exactly the same. Okay, one thing you need to remember with Notepad is when you do your save as, okay, you have to change that. Remember, and you have to make sure, if you haven't saved it once already, you can put the .html on. If you've saved it already, it should pick it up. Okay, but you do need to watch that one, because it will default to text file, because it's a text editor. You don't get that problem with PyScripter. Okay, so stop it there and download the files and have a go. And what we're going to do in a minute is we're going to create the new pages. Hi, welcome back. Hopefully you've had the opportunity to download the files, and either the ones that I've given to you, or if you've copied them from the GitHub link that I will put in the description underneath the video on YouTube. So hopefully you've created a folder, put the files in the folder, opened up the HTML files in either Notepad or PyScripter or some form of HTML editor. You've had a play around changing a couple of the things within the CSS sheet to see what it actually does. Maybe use the W3 Schools color picker to change a few colors and see what it looks like. Once you've done that, what we're going to do now is we're going to create the other two pages that we need. If you remember from last time, we had this web page, the miniature schnauzer one. Okay, that was working. Okay, so we could click on that and it would take us to the page. But if we tried to go to these ones we get web page not found, because they don't exist, they're not there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create these other pages. Okay, what we can do is we could just go back and have a look at the page, and we see we've got these ones here that don't exist, that we're linking to. And if we followed the link and we looked at the miniature schnauzer one, we had the home one and we had the miniature schnauzer one. I'm on the miniature schnauzer page, and I can check that because when I go down the bottom it says, talks about that dog. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is for my new page I am going to select, actually I'm going to copy the whole, everything that's on the page, and we're going to create a new HTML page. Okay, so the way you do it in PyScripter, actually we don't want that one, just kind of cancel that, it's defaulted to Python, which we don't want. We're going to go up there, we're going to go new, and we're going to go new file, choose internet, choose HTML document, do create. It's going to actually put the structure in. We don't need that, so I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to go back to this, and I'm going to select it all. Okay, all the way down. Okay, let's go back. Sorry, let's go back and do that again. So I've selected it all. I'm going to copy, go to my new page, and I'm just going to paste it in there. Okay, obviously this bit here I need to change. Okay, because this is going to be my Husky page. I'm just going to write, let's just put Husky in there for now. Information on Husky. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is, this was the name of my page here, so I'm actually just going to copy that. So and I'm going to do file. Okay, and I'm going to save as, and in this page, okay, I'm just going to paste it in there. I don't actually need the .html because it's going to save it as an HTML one. Okay, and what I should find now is when I go back, excuse me, let's get rid of that, and go back to this page again. Okay, go back to the home page. I'm just going to refresh it, and we add our miniature schnauzer page. Okay, let's just pause that. Okay, I've just noticed what it has actually done. It's defaulted this to .htm, not the .html that's on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save that file again. Okay, because it's got the default, I'm actually going to put the .html in there, save it. Okay. And what that should mean now, that if I go to that one, if I go to the home page, I should then find that I've got my Siberian Husky page. Okay, what we've noticed on here at the moment is we've obviously got the wrong information, we've got the wrong picture. So what we're going to do is we are going to go back to here, and we've got the wrong title on the page, because we can see when we look on the main content, it's got that. So I'm just going to change that to Husky. Okay, and just make sure that that's changed, which it has. And obviously that's not Husky, so we need to change the image as well. Okay, so if we look at our previous files, and we can see what our 02 Husky underscore puppy file. So when we go down and we look here, the source of the image here is the Schnauzer puppy, which is obviously not right. So what we're going to do is we're going to change that to 02 underscore Husky underscore puppy. Okay, and save that. Okay, what we'll do is we just go back to the page, and what we'll do is we refresh that page. Oh, I've got spelled puppy wrong. So go back to it again. Okay. What's it? So, just realised one of the mistakes we had here is one of the things to check is actually with the images that you downloaded, they are the same. So what's happened here is when you hit that and you go to that and you refresh it, get this broken image. And if we look here, I've got 02 Husky spelled like that, but when I actually look at the file name and look at I've spelled the name correctly, but it's referring it as a JPG file. Okay, so what we're going to do is go on here and get rid of the E, save the file, go back to our one that didn't work, refresh it, and our dog appears. Okay, right. Okay, what you need to do now is you need to go and find some information to put on the Husky page to give some information about the Husky. Also, we're missing the Labrador page, so you have to go away and do the same for the Labrador page. Okay, things to remember. Broken links, again, like I had just there. If you've got one that either you've typed it wrong, or it's a JPEG, or it might be a PNG file, make sure you've put the correct file name, and make sure it's if it's a JPEG with a JPG or a JPEG, make sure you put the right bit in there, and then you should be able to create your Husky page and your Labrador page. Okay, you need to put a bit of information in, really. Not really a website about dogs, so it doesn't give you any information. But again, if you wanted to put more images, you could even put more images. You could put another image and do exactly the same on here. So if you wanted another one, you could take another picture, copy that, paste it underneath, and put another picture in. Okay, and you can make your page as fun as you like. Okay, right. Okay, that's probably enough for today. If you like the videos, hit the subscribe button. Maybe leave me a comment. These are only kind of introductions to HTML and CSS, so nothing too complicated to start with, but hopefully we'll get a bit more complicated as we go through. If you like the video, hit the like button, and then I know that kind of we're on the right lines, and the things that are useful for you. Again, hopefully you enjoy that video, and subscribe, and I'll put another one up soon. Cheers.